Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How is your world doing? I hope it's doing great. Okay, in this whole opportunities, I would like to present my proposals entitled Negotiating English Teaching Strategies and Teaching English for Special Needs Students during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, study in SLB PKK Bandar Lampung. But before that, I would like to introduce about myself first. My name is Citra Puteri Utami. I am a student of English Education Department at UIN RIL in Lampung, and now I'm the 6th grade student. Okay, this video and also this proposal has submitted in partial fulfillment of the requirements for final test of the seminar in language teaching subject that has guided by our incredible lecturers, Ms. Septa, Aryanika, MPD. Okay, without further ado, so let's start our discussions today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my topic is about negotiating English teaching strategies and teaching English for special needs students during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, study in SLB PKK Bandar Lampung. So I want to confirm the title of this topic. The first one is negotiation. Negotiations means a forum for two or more parties to hold two-way communications designed to reach an agreement as a result of different views on something and motivated by the similarity of interest between them. Moreover, the negotiations process includes negotiating activities, behavior, cognitions, emotions, and motivations. Okay, that's a definitions that come from Salim 2003. So the definitions of strategy according to Carbono means that as a plan, methods, and various activities designed to achieve educational goals. Learning strategy is a learning activity that must be carried out by the teachers and students so that the learning objectives can be achieved effectively and efficiently. Okay, we can conclude that English teaching strategies are various actions taken by the teachers to students in learning English to achieve learning objectives. Okay, the next is definitions of special needs students. Special needs students are the children who have a certain limitation in various ways that must get more attention and serious assistance during learning. While the COVID-19 is an infection disease caused by a newly discovered type of coronavirus, COVID-19 is now a pandemic that has hit almost all countries in the world. Okay, next is about background of the problem. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there are some background of the problem that make researchers want to conduct this research. The first one is some types of disabilities that still require guidance in operating a computer or smartphone during online learning. The next one, digital media, which is still needs to be equipped so that it can be used by the teachers to teach English for students with special needs. Knowledge and care of parents that need to be improved to help their children operate digital media in online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. Good communications and collaboration between teachers, families, and students is needed. Okay, the next one is focus and sub-focus of the research. Based on the background above, the writer wants to conduct this research. And based on the background above, the researcher focused and limited the research on the causes of teaching strategies and teaching English for special needs students during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so the sub-focus of the research consists of the subject of the research, the object of the research, the place of the research, and the time of the research. The subject of the research will be the senior high school teachers at SLB PKK Bandar Lampung, which consists of one junior teachers and one senior teachers. The objective of the research will be the English teaching strategies and teaching English during the COVID-19 pandemic. The place of the research will be conducted at SLB PKK Bandar Lampung. The time of the research will be conducted at SLB PKK Bandar Lampung in the academic year of 2021 until 2022. Okay, the next is formulation of the problem. Based on the background and the limitations of the problem above, the writer focused and formulated the problems as follows. The first one, how do teachers negotiate English teaching strategies with the situations during the COVID-19 pandemic in teaching English to children with special needs at SLB PKK Bandar Lampung? The second, what are the obstacles faced by the teachers in teaching English to students with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic at SLB PKK Bandar Lampung? The third, how the teachers will overcome the obstacle in teaching English for special needs students during the COVID-19 pandemic at SLB PKK Bandar Lampung. Okay, next, the objective of the research. In accordance with the problem above, the objective of the research is aimed to get a deeper understanding of the strategies used by the teachers in teaching English to children with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. The research is aimed to get a deeper understanding of the obstacle faced by the teachers in teaching English to children with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. The research is aimed to get a deeper understanding of the solution from the obstacle of teachers in teaching English to children with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the significancy of the research consists of theoretically and also the practically. According to Lincoln and Guba, the significancy of case study research are case studies are the main tools for aiming research stably present the view of the subject under the study. The case study provide the necessary clarifications for the assessment on transferability. And the case study are open to assessment of the context at play for the meaning of phenomena in that context and so on. While the significancy practically significancy, it may be as information for the English teachers and also researchers about how to negotiate English teaching strategies and teaching English for special needs students, so that we can enlarge our knowledge about the strategies, method, or even the technique that have been used by the English teacher in teaching English for special needs students during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the next one is about relevant research from the Citra Journal of Educational Science that has conducted by Gulkaya and France. They have conducted a research about problems of children who need special educations and their families during the COVID-19 pandemic. So it was found that the parents who constitute the participants of the study have observed an increase in the anxiety level and aggressive behaviors of their children with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the data is collected by using semi-structured interview from consisting of 5 questions developed by the researcher was analyzed. While the participants of the study comprised 29 parents, and the data were obtained through a telephone and online interview with 21 women and 8 men. Okay, the next one is research design. In this research, the researcher used the qualitative research by using the case study approach. Because this research wants to learn both from the Indonesian's government policies towards the education of children with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic, online learning system for children with special needs, and the most important thing that the process of the negotiating the English teaching strategies carried out by the teachers for children with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, I want to restate again that the researcher used the qualitative method and using the case study approach. Okay, the next one is about research subject. The first one is sample. The sample of the population as the subject as the source of the data are the English teacher of SLB PKK Bandar Lampung, which consists of two English teachers who have served 10 until 10 years experience in teaching, and English teacher who is still in junior level. Okay, I want to restate again that the sample of this subject consists of 2 English teachers who are senior and also junior. The senior teachers who have served 10 until 20 years in teaching English, while the junior level who has 2 until 3 experience in teaching English. Okay, next, the sources of the data. The researchers collect the data from some source such as informants, event, and document. The informants that I have said before, 2 English teachers in SLB PKK Bandar Lampung that are categorized based on their teaching experience. They are advanced beginner teachers and expert teachers. And the next one is event. Besides informants, the researcher also collected the data from events of what happens in teaching English process during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the next is document. The document, it could be a lesson planning, the personal journal, the diaries, which consists of public and private records as it's suggested by. Okay, the next one is data collecting technique. Okay, the data collecting technique Um, the researcher used observation, in-depth interview, and questionnaire as a research instrument. For the research instrument, such as observation, in-depth interviews, and questionnaire, and also document analysis. In observations, the researcher used checklist of educational standard for students with special needs. While in-depth interview, the researcher conduct in-depth interview with 2 English teachers in SLB PKK Bandar Lampung and some students at senior high school level in SLB PKK Bandar Lampung. There are 21 questions, and the questionnaire, there are 10 questions of this questionnaire, and the researcher used open-ended question. Okay. While the document analysis, such as a lesson planning, teaching sources, teaching media, or formative assessment that has used by the English teacher in their English teaching practice. Okay, the next one is about research procedure. The first one is determining the focus of the study, and in these steps, the researcher have to determine what is the focus of the study. And then the next one is about development the theoretical sensitivity by reviewing library materials relevant and the results of previous study. So the researcher have to collect some literature review that has relevant to their topic. And the next one is determinations of the case or study materials. And it includes where and from whom the data were obtained. And the next one is develop of data acquisition and processing protocols, which includes activities to determine tools such as the techniques to collect the data and etc. And the next is the implementation of data collection activities, which consists of collection of the data. And then processing of acquisitions the data, which consists of coding, categorizing, comparisons, and discussions. The next is negotiations of the results, and the next one is make a conclusion. Okay, next is trustworthiness of the data. Because this is the qualitative research, so the trustworthiness of the data it's depend on the researcher itself. Okay, the results of the observations, questionnaires, and the in-depth interview with 2 English teachers and several high school students at SLB PKK Bandar Lampung are the main data in this study, where these data were obtained for researcher to get a deeper understanding of a single case based on the phenomena that are happening in the researcher living environment. So, it means that the trust of the data in the study is based on the researcher itself. Okay, the next one is about data analysis. In this research, the researcher used the theory from Creswell to analyze the data. Okay, the first step is about organizing and preparing the data. In this step, the researcher have to organize and prepare about the data that has collected. And the next one is reading through all the data. In this step, the researcher have to comprehend all of the data that has gathered from the research. And the next one is coding the data. In this research, the researcher have to categorize and labeling the data based on their classification. And the next one is interlating themes or description and interpreting the meaning of the data. In these steps, the researcher have to make a conclusions and have to make a conclusions based on the information that have collected by the researchers. And to make this research to testing the research, so the researcher used the triangulations theory, which means that the findings and the data has explained detailedly in this research and has understood by the researcher itself. Okay, the next one is theoretical framework. Okay, the theoretical framework consists of teaching English teaching strategies, and the English teaching strategies means that actions or series activities including the use of methods and the use of various resources or strategies in learning English which are structured to achieve the objectives of learning English. According to Sanjaya, there are several learning strategies that must be carried out, such as exploratory learning strategies, inquiry learning strategies, problem-based learning, learning strategies to improve thinking skill, and cooperative learning strategies. Okay, the next one is about special needs students. In this research, the researcher has limited the research two kinds of special needs students. They are deaf students and mentally impaired. The deaf students are the students who don't hear or lack of hearing because the sense of hearing is impaired even you use tools here or not. While the mentally impaired means that students are students who have intellectual and cognitive abilities that are below the average compared to people in general. Okay, the next one is education purpose of children with special needs. Okay, as stated on the UU or on the law of education, citizens who have physical, emotional, and mental, intellectual, or social disorders are entitled to special education. Furthermore, it has explained of the national education system laws that special education is education for students who have difficulty in participating in the learning process due to physical, emotional, mental, social, and or potential intelligence and special talents. Okay, the next is theory of English teaching for children with special needs. In teaching deaf students, there are some strategies that can be used, such as communication approach and language approach. While in teaching mentally impaired students, there are three strategies that can be used, such as direct introductions, cooperative learning, and peer tutorials. While the inclusive schools, according to Tarmansha 2007, inclusive education is a form of education that does not separate children with special needs from normal children in general in the learning process. Schools providing inclusive education should be able to facilitate every child, regardless of their physical, intellectual, social, emotional, linguistic, or other condition. So, children with special needs have the choice to attend both special education units and regular school and regular school that implement an inclusive education system. So, inclusive education system are the schools that have that consist of normal students and special needs students. And the next one is UNESCO and Indonesia policy. Okay, Indonesia policy in online learning are implementing online learning and eliminating the national examination during the pandemic. While the UNESCO policy is receiving educational services through distance learning or digital platform learning. Such as in Indonesia country, the government has provides radio education, rumah belajar, sepada or TV edukasi for English teaching media and teaching English. While in Japan, the government has provided some platforms such as Future Classroom, Max, and NHK. While in Malaysia, the government has provided the media such as TV OK, EduWeb, and others. In Singapore, Singapore Students Learning Space, while in Finland, the government in that country has provides the Finnish and National Agency for Education to answer the needs of student, teacher, and families during the coronavirus. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, based on my explanation above, this is the temporary outline of my research. My research consists of chapter 1 until chapter 5. In chapter 1, the researcher want to discuss about in title of confirmation, background of the problem, focus and sub-focus of the research, problem formulation, objective of the research, significance of the research, relevant research, research method, and systematic of the discussion. While the chapter 2, the researcher want to discuss about the theories, some theories that is relevant to our topic, to my topic. And in chapter 3, the researcher provide the description of the research object, which consists of general description of the object and facts and data display. While in chapter 4, research analysis consists of the findings of the results, and the chapter 5 consists of conclusion. Okay, this is some references of my research that consists of books, journals, and also proceeding. And this is the timeline of my research. And inshallah, if I do a seminar proposal in this month, so I will conduct this research in this month until July. And then one of the reasons when I choose this topic to be my research because this topic is really interesting and it's really and it has a novelty. From the literature that I have read from international journal, and I don't find the research about special needs students, especially in teaching English, and use the case study design approach like that. And and based on the phenomena, we as a researcher have to have a concern and sensitivity to our environment, as we know that the locations of this research is near to our campus. So that we have to have a concern to our to our to our friends who have special needs in education like that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and then the researcher want to find out and want to get a deeper understanding about how the teachers negotiated English teaching strategies in teaching English for special needs students during the COVID-19 pandemic. As we know that the government in the pandemic era, the government only focused the normal students, and I don't find a special policy for special education students. So that's why the researcher want to conduct this research. Because the researcher want to get a deeper understanding about how the English teachers negotiated English teaching strategies and teaching English to children with special needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, maybe that's all about my presentations today. And the topic of my presentations is about negotiating English teaching strategies and teaching English for special needs students during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, that's all from me, and thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.